to all my energy sensitives, empaths, psychics, and intuitives out there. First of all, I want to say I'm grateful for you taking a moment to tune in. Over the next 5 minutes, I want to gift you a very simple, but yet also powerfully effective technique that I've found that can help prevent you from being a sponge to other people's toxic, psychic, emotional, and spiritual energies. Because this is one of the biggest core foundational challenges I find as I start to work with many of my one-on-one clients on these types of things. And I feel like if I can gift you this technique that you can start to implement right now, today, that I can start to do a bigger part in elevating the overall collective consciousness and vibration, because I know it's empaths and energy sensitives like yourself that plays such a vital role in elevating that collective consciousness. And if these type of topics and techniques, activating and mastering your gifts and working through these challenges are something that you're interested in, please go ahead and drop me a message on Messenger. And I would love to also gift you a 2-hour masterclass I did on similar topics like this that can really assist you in activating and embodying that mastery in your life. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Inrstelr. I am an author and co-founder of the project Inrstelr, where I've worked now with so many one-on-one clients like yourself over the years and assisting them in embodying a mastery of their gifts and sensitivities and clearing trauma programming conditioning that is preventing them from truly tapping into that life of thriving in their highest and best self. So over the next couple minutes, I want to tune you in to this simple and a powerfully effective technique to prevent you from being a sponge to all of those energies. And it's very, very simple. So what I want you to do right now is start to tune into the way that you normally have conversations, right? When you have conversations, let's say somebody, a friend of yours, you're texting them and you're like, hey, what's going on? How's life right now? And they go into something that was going on earlier in the day, like, oh, well, it's actually not that great. I was having this argument with my partner, and they were sort of gaslighting me on this issue or whatever it is, right? When you're having those conversations, have you ever found that while the other person is speaking, that all of a sudden you start to essentially put yourself in their shoes? This is very common that we do this type of thing, especially as energy sensitives, and it's something that's usually adopted at a very young age to foster more connection, right? And what I mean by putting yourself in their shoes is while they're talking about things that they're going through, do you see yourself energetically? Do you start to see yourself in a similar situation that maybe you were going through early in the day or earlier in your life? Or do you go even further? Do you actually start to see and sense that exact experience that they were having earlier? If you find yourself doing this, what is actually happening in that moment is oftentimes you can be sort of energetically abandoning yourself and vibrationally matching whatever energy they were experiencing in that moment and situation, actually energetically traveling into their field or making yourself a match and thus pulling that energy into your energy field, right? And this could even just happen. Somebody is having a conversation next to you. You're not even part of it, right? There's many ways that this can happen. But what I want to do is tune you into this very powerful, effective technique that can actually prevent this right now. So what you want to do is, moving forward, as you are tuning into these types of conversations, you're going to start to connect to an energetic anchor in your system. And what this is creating energetically an object in your system. The more energy connected to this object, the more sacred it is, and more important it is to you, the more potent this energy technique can be. So it could be an important crystal. It could be a sacred symbol for you, right? And if tuning into imagining and sensing these types of objects is difficult for you, you could also use an actual physical object like a necklace or a crystal, or you could actually use your breathing. But what I find is I recommend the energy piece, because this also starts to tune you into an even greater mastery of your gifts that can work into other things later on. But essentially what you're doing is, while you're taking in the information, while you're speaking to the other person or listening, you're keeping a connection to this energetic anchor point. And that way, you're not completely energetically abandoning yourself and totally going into this other thing. You're keeping that core anchor of energy in your system, so you can attune to these other things that are going on, but you create and you hold on to that anchor point so that you don't actually take on that energy. You retain that vibrational frequency of holding in your center. And that's really it. It's very simple, powerfully effective. You can start to implement it right now if you want. And once again, if this type of thing and more techniques that can help elevate you into a mastered embodiment of your gifts, clearing trauma programming conditioning in your field is something that you'd be interested in, go ahead and drop me a message and I will gift you a 2-hour masterclass I did on activating and embodying and in mastering your psychic intuitive gifts.